Welcome to another exciting episode of In Conversation with Alethia. I'm your host, Alethia O'Hara-Stephenson. In each episode, I sit down with individuals who are doing amazing things in our communities. The show will educate, it will empower, and it will inspire you. On this episode, I am excited to have an incredible mentor, coach, speaker, and author of A Squeeze of the Orange, A Mantra for Success, Samir Lal. Samir, welcome to In Conversation with Alethia. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you, Alethia. It's so wonderful to be here. And thank you very much for inviting me and talking to me. So great. It's an honor for me.
Oh, the honor is all mine, Samir. Let's I want to dive right into our conversation because I have to start. I read your book, A Squeeze of
Mhm.
Orange, your mantra for success. And I have to say, it was absolutely incredible. And some of the tips that you shared, absolutely powerful. So I want to dive right into what was your motivation, your inspiration about behind writing this book?
Yeah, in fact, it is what I practice. That is what I preach in this book. So my transformation journey from me being 260 pounds to now 180 pounds, me being so shy in public, me being not mingling up with in general public. I was never networking with the people. All those things I learned over a period of time, like next last 10 years. I mastered myself, I championed myself, and I came out of the my own bondage. And when I saw this beautiful world after breaking all those barriers, I thought it is worth sharing with the people. Even if I can inspire one person, it will be worth it. And the next motivation was my wife. She was always on to me. You always write in Hindi. Why don't you try English book? I was always writing in Hindi for the newspaper in India. So she said, try in English, try in English. People should get benefited here. All the friends speak English here. They don't understand your Hindi. So that became another motivation. And she was just on to me. You have to write, you have to write. And then one day I promised, okay, I'll write. And next 6 months, I was out with the book. So it is all about discipline, all about your mindset when you decide to do what, and it becomes, and it happens.
Amazing. I love that, Samir. And you talk about being shy. I can't imagine Samir ever being shy.
Yeah.
The Samir that I know is full of life and energy and,
Yeah.
have no problems talking to people. So that's in fact how we met, right? So
Yeah. In fact, no, I'm talking about 10 years back when I was in a different bank, and that VP met me after I left there for after 5 years of that. And he said, "Are you the same Samir who used to sit in the corner, never talk to anybody, and just being in himself?" And I said, "Yeah, the I was doing a mistake, and I corrected it."
amazing,
Yeah,
amazing. And
yeah,
you know what? I can totally relate, right? Because many years ago, I would have been that girl in the corner, head down, quiet and shy,
yes.
afraid to say hello. And here we are together on this platform having a
See,
conversation. So it's incredible.
yeah, yeah.
I want to dive into, going back to your discipline and the fact that you mentioned you were 200 plus pounds and now you're 180. First of all, congratulations, right?
Thank
Because
you.
that takes discipline, that takes courage, and so much more to be able to achieve, such success.
Yes,
But
yes.
above and beyond that, can you talk about the discipline that it took to get you to this stage and that same discipline that I'm sure has helped you in other areas of your life as well?
Absolutely. They always say the way you do one thing, you do all the things like that. So for to discipline myself, earlier I used to think that I have only so much of time. I have to go to work. And suddenly I realized that it's me who has created the time lack for me. Because if you sleep enough, 6 to 7 hours of sleep is good enough for you normally. And normally I go to bed by 9:30 and 10, and I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And it didn't happen when one day I started at 6 o'clock, getting up at 6 o'clock, then getting up at 5 o'clock, then getting up at 4 o'clock. So it is a gradual improvement. And then I disciplined my morning. You can get up at 4 o'clock and still do nothing. So it's a total wastage of time. So I disciplined myself. I compartmentalized that time of the morning, 1 hour for my meditation, half an hour for my exercise, half an hour for my journaling, and then half an hour for reading, and half an hour for writing something. And every single day I'll repeat that. And that has become my habit now. And I have trained my subconscious mind, like my subconscious mind cannot tell me, come on, Samir, today you're tired, just sleep. because the first thing is I shut it up in the morning that you cannot guide me, I'll be guiding you. And for that, I just get up and get into the cold shower, irrespective of how much my mind is saying, no, no, don't go. It's very cold outside. You might fall sick, whatever it is. And I'll just get into the cold shower. I'll be standing there for 5 minutes. And after that, my mind never disturbs me whole day. So this is how I disciplined myself slowly. And then I incorporated the walk into my life. And nowadays I walk almost 10 kilometers a day.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And to motivate me to walk, I like to read the books and I like to listen to the books. So on my walk, I'm always listening to some audiobook, some self-help book, some motivational podcast. That helps me because if the book is 3 hours long, and if I'm going for a 1 hour of a walk, now I wait for that next 2 hours when I will be finishing this book. So, so that keeps me motivated all the time to go for a walk. Then I incorporated some hiking into my, in the summertime, I go for hiking and long hiking sometime. And sometime it is forceful long hiking because last time I went for hiking and I got lost in the woods.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah, and it took me 5 hours to come out. And my wife was waiting on the other side with the car, and she was thinking, "What happened to him? He's not coming out." And I could finally figure out the way after 5 hours. But that gave me the solid confidence that I can walk for 5 hours now
Amazing.
without getting tired, right? So even that mistake taught me so much that it's my mind which used to tell me that 1 hour is good enough. You cannot walk more than that. That day when you're stuck, you are walking for 5 hours and you are with full of energy to find out the way. So it is our mind which creates the barriers, and on that day that barrier got broken, and now I know I can walk for 5 hours.
I love that. And it's incredible how you were able in that situation. It could have been tragic, it could have been sad, it could have been disappointing, but you found the positive and the opportunities in that
Absolutely, yeah.
moment. You were lost for so many hours. So that's that's powerful things about the mind and what the mind can accomplish. I want to go back to the fact that you mentioned that you now wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning. For you to be able to be that disciplined, to wake up and not get distracted by cell phones, not get distracted by doing nothing, but focusing on yourself, how powerful and transformative has that been for you?
It has transformed me upside down 360 degrees, I would say. Uh, Reason being, getting at 4 o'clock is not a big deal if you get into the practice. It's
Mhm.
all only again, it's a biological clock which automatically sets. I'd never put on an alarm, but every single night by 9:30, 9:30, my phone is off. I switch it off 100%, and I'm gone from the phone or any electronics from there. And then this phone will be switched on only at 8 o'clock in the morning when I'm done with my morning routine. So I don't touch any electronics till the time I'm done with my morning routine. So that motivates me that let me finish this thing because after that I can see my computer. After that I can see my phone. So that is how I mean, that's getting back to my mobile phone and looking at the WhatsApp or looking at Facebook is the reward which I'll give after finishing of these 4 hours. So I'm ready to do those 4 hours so that I can watch my phone. I have not watched it for last 12 hours. So that is one thing. And secondly, the meditation practice keeps me focused all the time. It doesn't
Mhm.
let me get out of track. And the meditation is very, very powerful. I am so firm believer of it. It improved me in my work. It improved in my focus. It improved in my talks, in my calmness, in my meeting other people, and I still never feel anxiety of meeting people or speaking in public. So I give 100% credit to my meditation and 100% credit to the discipline I follow.
And speaking of meditation and discipline, I know you recently embarked on a 10-day silent retreat. And
Yes,
what was that experience like? And I mean, in total silence, no electronics, you're not having a conversation with anyone. What was that like?
it was an out of word experience, and this was not the first time I went there. That's my every year's reset. So every year I go there, and this was my seventh time I went there, and I we go there for 10 days, and it is called Vipassana meditation, which Buddha did for nirvana. But his meditation was, I mean, the procedure is the same, but he did the whole life to get that nirvana. But these 10 days reset you like anything. And Vipassana is basically, it means that to see the things as it is without any
Distraction.
biases or without any your interpretation. Just watch it. And that is what Vipassana is. And there, when you reach there, you give up your phone, you give up everything which you don't need. Like you cannot have pen, you cannot have pencil, you cannot have paper, you cannot have magazine or nothing. Because now from that point onwards, for 10 days, you are traveling within all the time. We get up at 4 o'clock, 4:30, we are in the hall, and then 17 hours we are meditating. Just one morning breakfast, and 11 o'clock you get the last meal, and you meditate till 9 o'clock in the night. And then there are some discourses at that time, but you're not talking to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even eye contacting people because there are 100 people, but you're not even eye contacting because contacting with eyes is also talking some in some way. So you're always within, and if you're going out for a stretch or a small walk within that area, so it is all woods there. So you can walk in there. But even when you're walking, you're still mindful of your steps, you're mindful of your breathing, you're mindful of yourself all the time. And in 10 days' time, you'll travel all your life. Everything which happened in your life will come in front of you, and you'll start realizing, oh, why am I keeping these grudges with me? And then you analyze that particular moment when you start, when you grab that grudge into you, and then you analyze that situation, and then you think, if I would have done this thing, it would not have happened. And then
Yes.
you realize it was my fault everywhere, and I'm keeping grudges against somebody else. And then you just keep let it go, and you'll feel the spirals opening up in your body. And by 10th day, you have cried enough, you have smiled enough, and by that time, you're totally empty. And when you come out, 10th day, they ask you, now you cannot go home. You have to just talk to the people here because otherwise, you're so out of listening to the human voice. So 10th day, you meet people, you talk to them, you share your experience for 10 days. They share their experiences. Then they give you your phone, and then you come back home. It's total reset, and I cannot tell you, Alithia, till the time I never did it before. I could have never thought what transformation it will bring in. I had done many types of meditation before, but this meditation of 10 days intense, this is something. And now I plan to go for 20 days very soon.
Oh my
Next year,
God.
maybe. Yeah,
Wow, that is incredible. It sounds
yeah,
like a life-changing
it
experience.
is. It is. It is.
Now, the 20-day meditation, are you thinking of doing that this year or next year?
No, this year I'm already done for 10 days.
Okay.
And then I'll go for a couple of service there because it is all volunteer based organization. So if I'm not doing meditation, they need people, those who will be making food, serving them, and the people those who are staying there, cleaning the rooms and all those things. So I always make it a point that I give back something because I get so much from meditation. Why not to give? So I go there for service periods, and I service there. So I service on their finance committee. I service in kitchen, and I love cooking. So when I
Yeah.
go there, I take charge of kitchen. So recently, I cooked for 200 people.
Oh my gosh.
They
You know,
have
we're
long,
gonna
with
dive
very,
into the next segment, but 200
yeah,
people is massive.
it is massive, and the kitchen is massive there. Like it's a commercial kitchen, but it was a beautiful feeling of cooking the food for so many people coming there and serving them the food. It was really
Beautiful,
worth it.
beautiful.
Yeah,
This is Samir. We're gonna take a short break. We'll be right
sure.
back with Samir Lal on In Conversation with Alethia. Welcome back to In Conversation with Alethea. I am here with incredible author Samir Lal. Welcome back, Samir.
Thank you.
Now, we left off talking about your amazing culinary skills, and you have a YouTube channel that you've been posting some incredible videos on. What's the name of that channel?
That's called UFO's Kitchen.
Ah,
Yeah, and we have more than almost 300 recipes out there on that channel, and it's doing great.
love it. And I believe the recipes are traditional. Is it Indian recipes, most of them?
Yeah, most of them are Indian recipes because my most of the viewers are Indian viewers. So, and
Okay,
I speak in Hindi there, so most of the people here cannot follow. But I started putting some closed captions there so that people can understand. But it's still mostly it is Indian food.
exciting. And
Yeah.
so With all of your culinary expertise, a part of the work that you're doing from a community perspective is cook for various organizations as well. In particular, the panel retreat that you just participated in.
Yeah, yeah.
A little bit more about that experience, because you talked about cooking for 200 people. I have a hard time cooking for a family of four.
No, it is. I mean, first of all, I love cooking, and more than that, I love now it has become my passion to give back to society in whatever form I can do it.
Mhm.
So, for that, even the smallest uh, contribution I can make somewhere, I feel so happy about it. Recently, I adopted a park in Ajax, so me and my wife go there, clean it up twice a year, and that gives me immense pleasure. And similarly, I go to the hospitals and just help people, volunteer there, help people translate their problems, because the old people coming there, they cannot speak English, but they speak Hindi, so I can always translate. I can show them the way. So as much time as I can spend on all these activities, and the same thing applies when I go to the Vipassana center. I give my time there. My whole intention is not that, I mean, you don't have to be good at cooking. You don't have to be good at something to give back. You have to be just good at heart, and you have just have that intention of giving back, and then you can contribute anywhere. You can see somebody trying to cross the road, you can just help that person who is not able to otherwise cross the road. So
Mhm.
those small contribution in of giving back, uh, that that has given me so much. It's not me giving out something, it gives me a pleasure, it gives me a better society to live in, gives me a better mindset. And I mean, God is so kind just because you are kind to the people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's powerful though. And I think it's impactful for you personally as well as the others that are receiving, your community efforts, because you were able to go within, because you were able to do that inner work, to be comfortable with yourself. So I think that's absolutely incredible and powerful, the work that
Yes.
you're doing, not just with yourself, but by extension, the community. I want to circle back to your book because I read a couple refresher chapters just to get me ready for this interview. And one of the things that I'm going to read it for you so I don't have to make
Yeah.
you too hard. It says, planning without dates is just a wish list. Be certain what you are aiming for and attach a timeline to it.
Yes.
Powerful. Can you elaborate on that and perhaps even an example of
Yes.
goal that you planned and you
Yeah. So mostly we are very good dreamers. Every human being dreams a lot. And they keep on dreaming, one day I will do this, one day I will do that, one day I have to do this one. But when that one day will come, never comes. I met a friend in India when I went last time, and he came to meet me. He's not very close friend, but he used to read my articles. So he wanted to meet me, and then he came and he said, "I want to write like you." I said, "Go start writing right now." He said, "No, no, I'm planning like to write a book, but when I retire, I'll write a book." I said, "Why you want to wait for your retirement? I mean, every single day you retire after 5 o'clock, and the next day you join another workplace. If you don't get up, you don't join, right?" So he didn't understand, and he kept on, and I kept on pursuing him, like, start writing at least one page a day. And
yes.
he didn't do that. And recently I heard that that guy passed away because of, and that those, the most of the dreams, the biggest, if you want to see the biggest inventory of the dream,
They're in the cemetery.
cemetery.
Oh,
Every, and all the dreams will ask you, why I came to you, why didn't you do me? So I always say, if you are dreaming about something, bring it to the paper. Once you bring it to the paper, create some actions and create some deadlines, that by this time I want to do it. If you don't put the deadline, somebody else will never let you put that deadline.
yes.
They will always keep you busy in something else. There are people, those who are ready to use you, and for not for bad intention, but for good intention. But your own purpose is gone just
Mm-hmm.
because you don't have any dates. So if you don't put a date to any plan, it is just a wish list, it is just a dream, and it will just die like that. So I
Oh,
always say, have action plan. Even though the smallest step you take on day one will take you to the 30th day, and the things will be done.
that is powerful.
Yeah.
And it is life changing. And you're not talking about moving mountains. You're talking about starting
Tiny
with,
bit. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Every tiny bit. I mean, I always say, people running marathon, they don't run marathon. They take one step at a time and they don't stop.
Yes, yes. And speaking of marathon, the other piece I
Yeah,
wanted to touch on was you have to watch the marathon before you start to run. And I'm paraphrasing because I didn't reference that page, but in
yeah,
that sentiment again, how powerful is that? Because now you're able to see how the experts do it and you can incorporate some of your own tips into your own life.
exactly. So one thing is you are seeing the actual race, and you see that when people are doing it, if they can do it, you can do it. What is less in you? You have 2 legs, they have 2 legs, they are running, they have energy, you have energy. If you don't have it, is you can gain the energy. There are methods to gain the energy, to gain the stamina. The only thing is that your mind is not able to see that. So first see with your eye, and then see with your mind that you are running, and it will happen. All the Olympics are won first in the mind and then in the field. All the athletes, they first see them winning within their mind, and then they run and they really win the game. So it is always keep whatever success you are looking for, visualize it, dream for it, and then bring it to the paper or take the action, and you'll do it.
You are what you dream. I
Yeah.
love that. And it's interesting because I only recently came across a video on YouTube where the speaker talked about you have to win it in your mind. If you go into an exam and you're thinking that you're going to fail, then of course you're going to fail. But if you
Yes.
start thinking about coming out on top and the results, she shared an example of one student that I think her name is Andrea Florencia. She shared the example about one student and she worked with them to realize him, succeeding at a specific exam and he came out on top, right? He was looking at the list and starting at the bottom to see his name and, got disappointed, but eventually, someone tapped him and said, hey, you're number one on the list, right? But all
Yes.
came from just imagining, putting in the hard work, obviously, right?
Yeah,
Because you
definitely. That is there. Yeah.
out studying and expect to succeed, but the hard work was there, but also the mindset was also there, the powerful mindset, positive mindset to believe that you can achieve it. So that's incredible, and I think that's a great tip that we all can incorporate into our daily lives.
Absolutely.
Now, I want to pivot slightly because all of the great work that we've talked about in your book, and we've talked about your Vipassana retreat, but you're also heavily involved in your community. In fact, you have an organization called C.O.M.U.N.I.T.Y, which is C.O.M.U.N.I.T.Y, and that organization was geared towards new immigrants as well as international students. That's a powerful segment that you're capturing right there. Can you share a little bit about the reason behind why?
Yes. So I look back 24 years, 25 years back when I came to Canada. I didn't have anybody to show me the path. I carved my own path. Slowly and steadily, I started learning new things. After 10 years, 12 years, I started understanding that there is something called networking. There is something called speaking to the people. There is something called making the connections. Otherwise, who knows what you know? Nobody knows what you know unless you know somebody, right? It's knowing somebody is something different, but knowing somebody who will know what you know will always help. So networking was very important for everybody. And when the COVID hit, even before that, I used to meet anybody wanted to meet me. I was always open to talk to them and meet them. But when the COVID hit, I immediately thought about these international kids coming here, students coming here. And I thought, where will they go now? Who will guide them? Because everything is closed. Everybody's sitting in at home. And they send connection invite on LinkedIn. Out of 100 invites, only two are accepted. And
Wow.
even out of those two, if they are lucky, one will be ready to talk to them. Otherwise, they'll just add him and that's it. What I started doing that any international students or newcomers sending me the invitation on LinkedIn, I will immediately accept it. And now they look at your position, they look what you're doing, they feel shy in connecting with you. So instead of they connect to me, I'll write them back. Do you need some help? Do you want to talk to me?
Oh,
And slowly my name started spreading that there is a guy who talks to you. And then I was famous in the University of Montreal, McMaster, and then Concordia. And all those students started talking to each other that Samir talks. So you just make a connection with him and he'll guide you. Alethia, you'll not believe in the first year itself, I taught more than 300 students.
oh my gosh.
And my all Saturdays and Sunday, 3 hours in the morning was going with them, half an hour slot to everybody. And even today, now that has become my routine. Every Saturday, 3 hours morning, every Sunday, 3 hours morning is for international students and newcomers. And then this organization started growing, and now we are Akash Bekal is a guy who is my co-founder on this organization, and Davanpreet is our social media coordinator. She looks after that. Now we are 17 mentors there, and we have several brand community ambassadors. So if somebody coming from Syria can talk to their Syrian community ambassador, and then he'll divert it to us. So that way, this organization has grown. And now we have, so far, we have done more than 1,000 coffee chats and unlimited number of uh, seminars. Now we go to the colleges and give seminars. We tell them our journey, that you're not alone. I also came like you. There was a journey. Now learn from what I learned in 25 years. You can get it from me in one day. So you don't
Wow.
have to relive the whole experience. You can just start right from beginning. And it is helping the students, and they need this help. And I think I have less time. I should devote more time, but somehow, as the maximum what I'm doing is maxing out myself, and I'm asking people to join me so that we can help more and more people. And
That's
it is totally volunteer organization. We don't pay anybody. We don't charge anybody. It's cashless organization.
okay. That is absolutely amazing, Samir. And
Yeah.
it's incredibly inspiring to hear the fact that you're reaching out to international students just arriving to Canada as well as newcomers. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. It has been incredible having you on in conversation with Alethea.
Same here. Thank you very much. It was my pleasure coming here, and I'm honored.
Wonderful, wonderful. This has been another amazing episode of In Conversation with Alethea. We just wrapped up a beautiful segment with author, speaker, mentor, and coach Samir Lal, author of A Squeeze the Orange. Tune in next time for another amazing episode. Special thank you to Town Teas for our amazing logo, and of course, Moonstone by MA for the incredible jewelry. Thank you so much and see you next time. Bye.